It's Margarita, and I am back with my end of spring declutter. "2024 has been the year of the declutter for the Perfumista." Let me know in the comments if you too have just really been paring down your collection to make sure that you only have things that you love. A lot of times when you are a fragrance reviewer, you tend to amass a huge collection but only use a little bit. I believe that the 80-20 rule not only applies in everything else in life, but it really applies to fragrances as well. Let me know if you agree. And that said, I'm going to show you what I am decluttering. Also, a side note, every fragrance that I show you today will be available on my website, whistlenotes.com, or you can also email me as my contact information is in the description of this video. Number 1, Dear Rose, or Rusa Rose by Nymphaessence. I got this in a swap with someone who I swap with all the time, and this is a great tea fragrance. The notes are pear, mandarin orange, bergamot, magnolia, freesia, orange blossom, white musk, woody notes, and amber. And that's so interesting because I don't see tea listed anywhere. But when I tell you this is basically a very tea-like fragrance, that's what this is. This is very nice, inoffensive. It's got some good projection, but it's not loud. But I think that it might be just too meh for me. If you like tea fragrances, think Elizabeth Arden green tea. Think Wulong Shaw by Nishane. If you like those, you will love this. This is a beautiful floral tea fragrance, but you know me, I am the gourmand queen. And I think that if this were a little bit more gourmand and less floral, I may like it, but I typically don't reach for this. So this can go to a great home. And this is Nymphaessence Rusa Rose. Number 2, Shams al-Emirat. This was also something that I got in a swap. Now, this is a beautiful fragrance. If you are someone who is just starting out on your fragrance journey, if you are someone who is very fragrance shy, you don't like your fragrance to stand out or be loud. If you are a child, I would say this is great. If you like pink sugar and if you like soft, this smells almost identical to soft. It's almost like a light pink lemonade. This is such a pretty fragrance, but it's not loud enough for me. I love it, but I find myself making this more of an easy reach versus a star of the show. And I only want stars in my show. That's how I'm curating my collection right now. I want to feel excited and happy about when I'm reaching for my fragrance, not just, oh, let me throw something on. So if you're looking for an easy reach, or again, if you are fragrance shy, if you work in an environment where fragrances are deemed offensive or can be too cloying, this is wonderful. This is a beautiful bottle. I love Middle Eastern fragrances, and this is, it's beautiful. It is so sweet. This is a sweet gourmand. Again, very light. It smells like crystallized sugar. If you like Pink Sugar by Aquilina, you will love this. If you love soft, this is almost an identical match of that. It's got a lemony, it's almost like a lightweight sweet lemon tart with a pink frosting, like pink lemonade. Basically, this is pink lemonade in a fragrance bottle, and this is Shams al-Emirat. Number 3 needs no introduction because, honey, this is a cult classic, but for me, I no longer reach for this. I've had this for years in my collection, and honestly, at this point, it's just decorative. This is Fleur de Portofino by Tom Ford. Now, hubby is the Tom Ford aficionado. This was the only bottle that I owned from Tom Ford, and he was using it in his collection. Then I realized it was collecting dust up there, so I'm like, let me see if I can make this work. And honestly, this is too piercing for me. If you like a loud floral, this is very aquatic. It's not a mature floral, but this is very aquatic. If you like loud aquatic florals, you will absolutely love this. If you like the Neroli Portofino, but it's too citrus dominant, here's a floral dominant alternative. If you like Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton, but it's too, again, citrus or even too aquatic, this is the nice floral balancer for that. If you like Little Italy by Bond Number 9, honey, that's sexy orange juice. I love that, but you need more floral components. Again, look no further than Tom Ford's Fleur de Portofino. Number 4, Sana Hardin Sandalwood Temple. Now, I don't know if you pronounce it Sana Jardin or Sana Jardin. I'm not sure exactly the pronunciation. So feel free to let me know in the comments which is the proper one for this particular brand. But I love sandalwood. However, I fell out of love with this once I smelled Santal Complete by Fragrance Du Bois. That is the best sandalwood concoction I've ever smelled, and honestly, I can't get my mind off of it. I have a decant of that, and once I got that, I'm like, yeah, this is just sitting on the shelf. I like this, but it's not sweet enough. This sandalwood it's a little bitey. It's very wearable, very unisex. It's very nice, very clean, very refined. But I think I've been spoiled by by Santal Complete. So if Santal Complete is too sweet for you, if you want a more sharp sandalwood, go for this one. I've also got some decants that I am no longer reaching for. This one is Chocolate Citronique by Sphinx. Yes, I love the House of Sphinx. I have a huge collection right there, and there's a couple more that I want from them. But for some reason, the orange in here is just the orange is oranging a little too much for me. I prefer something that is more just straight chocolate dominant. And honestly, what made me fall out of love with this one is when I smelled Kriegler's chocolate caramel. Now that's all I can think about for a chocolate. Like, I'm the kind of person where very, very similar fragrances really don't have too much of a place in my collection. Plus, I also have a very generous decant of Lyra by Xerjoff, which is another citrus chocolate, and I care for that one more than I do this one. So I don't see myself reaching for this one. However, make no mistakes about it, this is wonderful. This is beast mode. But now that I've got something that's a little bit less citrus to choose from, because I'm not a fan of citrus fragrances too much, remember that, then, you know, I would keep it. But now that I know that there's an option that's less citrus and more chocolate, I do want to go for that. So you can feel free to take Chocolate Citronique by Sphinx home with you. Panettone by Milano Fragranze. I realized something about myself just today. I do not like bread fragrances. Panettone is basically like, it's bready. It's a gourmand, but it's very bread dominant, which is understandable because pan is bread, you know, in a lot of different languages. So I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to be, and I don't have the notes in front of me. It's nice. It's a gourmand, but it's not sweet enough. If you like doughy, bready fragrances, this would be great. There's a couple of other ones I realized that have a strong bread note, and I didn't care for those either. I can't think offhand what they are. Oh, Acro Bake. No bueno. It's like a lemon tart, but that bread note, whatever the crust note is in there, it kills it for me. Which leads me to another fragrance I'm decluttering. Theodoros Kalothinis Lemon Tart. The tart is not working for me. I like the lemon, but there is some type of underlying bread or dough note that is really foiling this for me. So I realize now that anything that has a strong bread note is just not for the perfumista, but it just might be for you. And last but not least, Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid Vanille. This is a cult classic. I have heard about this for years, and I'm like, I finally got my nose on it. I got it in a swap, so I got a generous decant of it, and I wore it, and the first thing that came to mind was somebody's great grandmother to the 10th power. This fragrance is so mature, it is piercing. The orchid it's almost like a violet versus an orchid, because I like vanilla orchids, and the vanilla is not as prominent as I like it to be. All I get is purple flowers, and I do not like it. I was hoping for more sweet, more gourmand, and all I get is floral, and I mean a very mature floral. So if you like mature florals, oh, and I might get some hate in the comments for this, because I know a lot of people love this fragrance, and it's not a bad fragrance, it's just not for me. This smells, you know, very, very mature, and it honestly turns my stomach just a bit because of the prominence of the purple flowers. I'm not a fan of purple florals. I don't care for iris. I don't care for violet. They go powdery. And then the orchid, it's typically something that's played down. Like Kriegler has a beautiful one, the Subtle Orchid number 10, which is amazing. But this one, the vanilla should have been stronger, and so I don't reach for this either, but maybe you will. Now this concludes today's declutter. There'll probably be another one in the summer, because when I tell you I am going like full steam ahead with my collection curation, I only want to have bangers in my collection. I only want to have things that I love and things that just really make me excited. I don't want to feel meh about anything that I'm reaching for. I want to be able to just blindly reach up to my fragrances and be like, eeny, meeny, miny, go, you know, and just know that I am going to smell wonderful. So let me know which ones interest you. If you don't see it on my site, you can always email me and ask me about anything I may have available for declutter. And you can find these items on whistlenotes.com. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and share with anyone else you think would or should love fragrances. My goal is to grow this channel exponentially by the end of this year, and I need your help to do so. Every view counts. And until next time, I am Margarita, and you have an awesome day. Bye.